I wanted to discuss a question or comment that the superintendent made in regards to the middle school. I think there was 1,140 students, she said, or 1,137, and the school only holds 800. I wanted to know how many other schools were beyond capacity. And in asking that question, I would also like to know what is happening when the kids are registering. Do these kids live in Hempstead? Are they actually following up and making sure where these pupils' residents are? Because that would address some of the housing issues. Because the village is definitely overcrowded. It would also assist the village of Hempstead in finding out how many individuals are actually living in some of these homes. So therefore it would make it easier for us to be able to go in and to follow up to see if houses are being rented out, whether there are too many rooms in different houses. So I think that it would assist the village as well to look into the registry and make sure that everyone that is going to school in Hempstead actually lives in Hempstead. We're definitely overpopulated, and the infrastructure cannot handle the overcrowding. The other thing is, the young lady spoke that she made sure that she got the information out, and she went to all of the local media, newspapers, Community Journal. Come on, when is the last time you've seen a Community Journal? I haven't seen one in a minute now. As a matter of fact, the mayor in the village of Hempstead actually had contracted them to do work as far as a pilot, or just putting information in the paper for the village of Hempstead residents to know about. And we never got that information because the paper was never produced. So therefore, a pilot, payment in lieu of taxes, that was posted in the Community Journal never was published. So the village had to set a new date for that pilot. What other avenues did they use to communicate this information? There's one other paper that I know, and I believe that's the Beacon. And I think the only place that the Beacon comes to is Herbert Meat Market, or or Village Hall. So help me to understand, how is this dispensing information to the concerned citizens of the village of Hempstead? I believe that there should be a budget set aside so that the information is dispensed properly. The other thing, there were 3 meetings in one night, and they were about the same issues. And as opposed to us collaborating and communicating and having one meeting where we can get one point of view and not get 3 different stories, it's divide and conquer. It causes confusion. It still causes questions to be asked, because you hear one thing at one story, you hear one thing at another, one thing at one venue and one thing at another, and then something else at another venue. And it doesn't show unity to me with the school board. They should have been a unified unit there, and we should have been able to ask all of them questions about how they feel about this bond issue. I want to close out, but I want to close out by saying that something to the effect that as a community and as brothers and sisters in the community, there have been some hurt. There's been some disagreements. There's been some arguments between us, and it's a trick of the enemy, because they see that we're coming together and that we're becoming united. and they're scared, and they don't want us to come together, because it's a new generation that wants something different, that wants better, for their children. I know that my kids won't be able to afford to live in this community if things keep going the way that they're going. Makes one ask, is that the plan? Is it a plan to run us out? Is it a plan to keep incarcerating African American youth without putting places here for jobs for them, and stop giving it village away to billionaires for tax abatements who come in and build and open up business that we shop in, and we pay the taxes for them being here, and then we shop there also. So it's like really a win-win for them. And where do we benefit from it? When they leave after their pilot is exhausted, and we have a blighted building, and then we allow someone else to come in and they do the same thing to us again. And it keeps happening over and over and over again. And we keep putting the same people back in office over and over and over again because they're our friends, and because we think they're our friends. But they play a part in the destruction of this community, and it's time for it to stop. We have an opportunity to make some change in this coming election. Don't believe the hype of the promises that you're going to hear, because you've heard the promises before. The scripture declares that we have surpassed this way long enough. Turn ye and go northward. Why are we like dogs going back to our vomit? Slaves like to take on the way of their masters. This belongs to us. I know that my parents fought hard. They took some jobs cleaning some white woman's house and worked all night to be able to afford a home or get a home in this village. And we built this village, and we're losing it. And it's time for us to stand up and take it back. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen within the next 2 years, but we have to begin now. Never despise the day of small beginnings, because if we don't begin now, someone else is preparing to take it over, and we are becoming the minority. Time for us as African American men, and just as a village, to set aside our differences and come together for the betterment of our community. There were days when there was Percy Jackson Youth Center, and the middle school was open, and we had sports, we had lacrosse, we had a thriving football program. We had funding for our kids to get uniforms every year. Percy Jackson had uniforms. Where's all that gone? We say there's no funds, but we create new jobs for people that are working in the parks, with enormous salaries that could be going to youth programs, that could be going to a youth center. When is when? When is enough enough? It's time for us to raise up our children in the right way and invest in them, because they're our future. Thank you.